All right, everybody. The guitar is finished. Let's take a look at this thing. All right, so first step, clamping the neck together using some wood glue. Somebody online said they didn't have to use a clamp. Good luck with that. If you're gluing two pieces together, use a clamp. Let that sit for 48 hours, or 24, 48 hours to be safe. Okay, so the neck joint is on. I went ahead and put some tung oil on it, which darkened it, as you can see. Also put a little bit of a racing stripe on it. It's okay, could have been better. But I put on about 3 coats of the oil. Yeah, I'll give an update when it dries. All right, so here's the Floyd Rose copy that came with it. It kind of feels cheap. I'm trying to decide if I want to do a trem stopper, because these cheaper ones tend to not stay in tune well. So you can buy what's called a trem stopper, which will help it. So you can still dive down like that, but it'll stop it that way. Or if I want to, I'm looking on eBay to see if I can find like a Floyd Rose special used, which would be an upgrade from this. So we'll see. That block just looks so tiny. Anyways, we'll see. All right, so what's cool with this kit for beginners is that here's the pickup that came with it, but they already have a lot of it wired, which, you know, soldering isn't hard, but if you don't do it a lot, they made this very simple by having everything pre-wired. These really easy connectors that you can undo to put the pickups in. I'm gonna upgrade it to a different pickup that I have laying around. I'm also gonna use a push-pull pot switch because the pickup I'll be putting in has that capability, but you have to give them credit for this kit. They made the wiring really easy if you wanted to keep the original parts. All right, so for the booze, I'm matching it with this Wow Light Citrus Ale from Four Peaks Brewery. When I see a guitar with this kind of a model, this kind of body shape, I think of Randy Rhoads. That's the Randy Rhoads Flying V design. When I think of Randy Rhoads, it reminds me of the 70s. And when I think of the 70s, I think of colors and font like that. It's also summertime. It's a nice light pool beer. All right, so as mentioned, this is the fake Floyd Rose that comes with it. It stays in tune relatively decently, but it's cheap. You can see right there, that already stripped out. So I had to use some pliers on it where you would put in the wrench in the hole. That did not last long at all, so that's some pretty cheap metal. That said, it's staying in pretty good tune. I did not use the pickup that came with it. Instead, I put in this Wilburn Custom Shop. I bought this on eBay a couple years ago because of the marketing. Like, look at that. How can you pass that up? pickup that's called a metal bucker. It has a dragon blowing, I guess that's fire, from the back of its mouth. So it's only like 25 bucks. Marketing matters, and I bought it. Went ahead and put on just kind of a racing stripe. It came out all right. Everything else was pretty much what comes with the kit. Tuning pegs came with the kit, locking nut. I'm assuming that's made of the same metal as the trem, which means it's gonna strip, and it'll strip soon. I had to do some fret work on it. But all in all, it came out all right. Didn't put any kind of finish on it outside of the oil. Let me go grab that for you. Tongue oil, that's what I used. Ended up obviously changing the color, which is fine. But it's not like a hard lacquer. It took quite a few coats. I could probably put more on, but this guitar is good enough for me. One item, which is kind of a trip, that doesn't look too bad as far as the Floyd Rose being lifted, but I do feel it's a little high. In order to get it to work, I did have to lift it a little more than I would have liked. But the strings were like right up against the neck to where it wasn't playing, so I had to keep cranking it. And you know, that's a problem when you have a guitar where you have to glue in the neck joint, is you kind of lose a little bit of play there as far as being able to shim or deepen the pocket. But all in all, I think it looks pretty cool. Let's see how it plays. We look at the back, you can see that I did add this thing's called a trem stopper, and it prevents the trem for if you're bending it backwards as to how far it can go. The reason for that is because it's a cheap trem, so it's going to help keep it in tune. So moving forward, you can still do it, not a problem. Moving backwards, it stops. Which is good because it's called a trem stopper. That's what it's supposed to do. I think it was about 10 bucks on eBay. If it starts getting out of tune a lot, I will push it right up against it. So I won't have that, even like that half note bend going in that direction. Okay, so I've plugged into a very basic Line 6 Spider 4 amp. One issue, it doesn't look that bad, but this heel is fat. So once you start getting, you know, if you're playing an A down here, it's, I don't know, doesn't fit well in the palm. I sanded it down a little bit, and I might do that again if I'm bored. But this is a split coil pickup, so I have the push-pull pot. It splits the coils in the humbucker. Again, it comes back into tune pretty good. Put a little dirt in it. But again, down, the lower you get, even though it has a good cut here, it is still a bit thick there. So anyways, that's the Leo Jaymz AL guitar kit. Pretty simple to put together. Again, the only upgrades I did was the pickup. I did put in a better pot here for the where the jack goes. It just kind of seemed cheap, and I had an extra USA American-made one sitting around, so I put that in. Got the really cool metal bucka. In the future, I'm gonna keep looking for probably a Floyd Rose special that I can get for cheap to replace this thing out. Because it's not gonna, if I play this a lot in time, all this is gonna get stripped. If I'm not playing a lot, this is gonna be perfectly a-okay. But if you're playing a lot and you're switching them out, this will strip. This, where the string goes in here, it'll start to strip. Not worried. I'm assuming that these tuning pegs aren't fantastic, but it doesn't matter because I have a locking nut here. So these don't matter as much because of the locking nut. If it was a guitar without a locking nut, the tuning pegs are important to keep things in tune. So that's it. Have a good one.